Transition of doom, boom, 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 transition of doom. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. And I don't really have a rest of a tune for that version of the theme music. It's Saturday.
We need that to sort of write one of these, you know.
Yeah, we do have enough like musical people with talent. Whatever that is.
Kazoos, I don't know. I definitely think our theme tune is kazoos.
Yeah, we should do that. We could have a go. Or harmonicas. Harmonicas would work.
Did you have a music room at your school?
Oh yeah.
Right. Did you have the thing? Which
no, we didn't. The thing.
The flobazoo, which basically was a little keyboard thing that you blew into, but more importantly, had like a tube on it, which would gather your spittle, which you could then use like a gob bowler at all the other kids in the room.
No, we didn't have that. We had 162 broken recorders.
Yes, I can play Jesus Hands or Kind Hands on the recorder. That's my one. You wanted that as a theme tune, I could do that.
You know the way recorders were built out of like 3 segments?
Yeah.
I don't think in my entire school career I ever played a recorder that was all one colour.
No mix. I liked it. It had a Saturn V quality, the recorder, that I found quite sci-fi because it broke up into little bits.
Yeah.
You can see practicing, I was just playing spaceships with mine.
Yeah, our lot tended to use them either as drums, like they were in some sort of marching band, or as weapons, or as police batons.
Okay, I can see how the times influenced your approach to music.
You know the way recorders had normally had the little white disc, whether it was a brown recorder or a black recorder or whatever else, it had a little white disc at the bottom.
Yeah.
I think 3 of ours still had those.
Nice, but then didn't have tops.
Or just gouges out of them.
You were just required to play the top and the bottom bit.
You always felt relieved when you had the recorder that didn't have blood stains on it.
We went to very different schools.
We really did. Our music room was nice though because it was staged, so it was like a lecture theatre nearly.
No, fancy.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you
just had
and
stage up
it
it.
was it was ringed by musical talent. So I mean, if you could write the word music, you were normally in the front row, and if music to you generally was, you were probably up at the back on the wooden table.
Okay. Was the wooden table good or bad? I'm not really sure.
They resonated slightly less than the metal tables at the front. We got music stands at the front. You got a music stand because your emails. You forgot your emails.
I forgot to send me email
You
off, didn't
forgot
I?
to send
There
me
you go.
emails.
Let's do that right now.
But yeah, we got music stands because we stood a chance of reading music, whereas the people at the back generally didn't stand a chance of reading to begin with.
I see. We had Morgan in our little group. My very good friend Morgan played the clarinet. I think his mum and dad were massively into jazz, so I think he had ambitions on that front. I think.
Funny story about jazz.
Read. All I can remember is just read problems.
Well,
or my reed's broken, or
or your reed got
squeaky.
broken. First day music. So, Mr. Brown, what instrument would you be interested in playing? The teacher didn't actually sound like that. It had quite a nondescript voice, so there's no point doing it because it would just be like, Mr. Brown, what kind of instrument do you want to play? And I said, well, I'd quite like to play the saxophone. I think it's really class, and I would love to play the saxophone. So 2 days later, I was handed a tuba.
They were just waiting for someone to say brass instrument, and the tuba got rolled out.
Yeah. It wasn't a happy time. At that stage, the tuba in its case, which I had to bring on a bus 3 days a week to school, was
you walked into that.
It was bigger than me.
Yeah, you could hide in the case, could you? Was that good?
No, you couldn't hide in it, but when the bullies took the tube out and shoved you in it, yes, you could fit.
This is all character building, I think.
And you couldn't run away with the tuba.
Drag it away. That was it.
And our school was up a mountain. I'm not crapping you. It was up. It was a mountain.
For some reason, I've got Mountain Doom in my head. I don't know why.
The only, I mean, I started off schooling in the skill and then moved to Carrick first. Went from hell to the fire. But the only good thing about that was I got out of the tuba, because in Carrick it was like, you play a brass instrument.
No. Something small that allows me to escape bullies.
Well, yeah, they were just bewildered because they other than violins, they hadn't heard of other musical instruments at Carrick.
My mother was very impressed, and I think wished to be a social climber. I don't understand why. And there was quite a posh kid who played the violin, and she thought, we shall also be posh if you play the violin. So she signed me up for the violin, which was a lot of cleaning, and if you're not talented on that does not make a pleasant noise, and that lasted about 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, the violin is essentially musical murder.
I like the idea of it, but in application, no.
I think the secret of the badness of the violin is that our most famous fictional character in the world, Sherlock Holmes, genius as he was, master of many things, yet still managed to sound like he was skinning a cat alive when he played a violin.
I think that is its general intent, though, isn't it? The violin. It's whenever I pick it up.
Maybe the next war will not be fought with weapons, but instead just a row of school children learning the violin, pushing the enemy back with their broken recorders that are all made up of 3 different coloured sections.
They're bloodied.
Yeah. Oh, charge them! Oh no, the violins!
I can see that happening. The piccolo, only good for doing Mr. Tickle Arm noises. But
I mean, what the hell was that? And Lord help the child who was handed the triangle.
I would, yeah. There was like Oh yeah, little Johnny's. Yeah, just give him the triangle.
Give
It's
him the
a little
triangle.
player. Sorry, all those triangle players out there.
Yeah.
But you know,
It's like, little Johnny, you're playing the triangle, and if you're very good at it, next week we'll give you the stick.
I was probably little Johnny in this scenario. So I'm one of these people that quite, really enjoys music, but doesn't really understand how it works. And yeah, no.
Yeah, music appreciation.
Yeah.
Music appreciation for us generally consisted of the sub music teacher putting on, like, Radio 2 and sitting there for 45 minutes reading a book, desperately trying to pretend we didn't exist.
Sat down, took a Xanax, lost the next hour.
Yeah, it was just like, oh no, it's the sub music teacher today. Yeah.
We'd like to talk about instruments. I'm not quite sure how we got into that. Morning, everybody.
Hello all. You have joined us as we reminisce the highlights of our youth once again. The closer we get to the grave, the more we look back.
We even get started on the Volvo stylophone.
Justin would like. Oh, here. Do you remember? Do you remember talking about that? Do you remember the guitar keyboard when that came out? The revolution.
That little flop machine.
No, literally.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I also, because I'd done music, I suffered the consequences of my grandmother buying me one of those little thin leather ties with a piano keyboard on it.
Class.
Oh, quality. Fleck trousers, slip-on shoes, Don Johnson jacket.
That was Mr. Andrew Ingram who had one of those. And the highlight of Andrew Ingram's musical career, he played Airwolf on the piano.
Doon diddly doon diddly doon diddly doon 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 doon.
It was brilliant.
So why don't you have any official licenses? Because you're awesome enough to do that.
Don't just wander in and stage left with that.
I wasn't stage left. You threw in Airwolf. Yeah. Airwolf's a license. It made me think, oh, that's right. KARL makes toy soldiers. We should talk about that.
I do have a license for Danger 5 miniatures in there.
Sorry, we meant a good one that everyone knows.
Yeah, no, I don't have any. No. Move along. That huge hummingbird eating your hat and coat.
So, like everybody, if KARL was to do a Kickstarter to say, take on like a proper license, like a real miniatures company, if he was going to do a Kickstarter and say, but it's too expensive. I need money. Who would chip in, and what license would you chip into? And the chip in is like $1,000 ahead. It's not like 50p. It's like Kickstarter is $1,000 ahead, and what you'll get out of that is you will get a set of the miniatures. What license should he chase?
Oh God!
I guarantee it would work. I guarantee you they'd be lined up out there going, "Oh, KARL, get like an A-team license. Here's £1,000."
Yeah, I'll do that.
You get an A-team license now for like 20 grand.
You got people knocking at your door. Do you want an A-team license? I've got some night riders here. Some nice only horses if you've got to meet your budget.
I've actually come up with, in my humble opinion, and it is only my humble opinion, I came up with a rather excellent Space 1999 board game.
Nice.
So as a result of this, I thought to myself, well, I can't just go and make this. I need to actually have a license. Oh my God. I got in touch with a lovely girl whose name was Viola, by the way.
Nice. You don't get many Violas.
You really don't. You really don't. And I'm not going to make any innuendo puns. But it was like ridiculous amounts for Space 1989, and it was 2 licenses, because for one sort of fee you could use the theme, the setting, the ships, the look, and all the rest of it. But if you needed to use the likeness of any of the characters, it was a whole different kettle of fish. And I said, that's an awful lot more expensive than I believed. She goes, it's become an interesting property again. A lot of other ones are significantly cheaper, but because so many of them are still alive and it's had a resurgence. It says we've actually an inquiry about 4 different games relating to Space 1999. Now, well, there's my warning bell. I'm going to hold my shot back and just reskin my game to be something else like Blake 7 that nobody cares about anymore.
Well, that is the beauty of the license in there, is that you can cut it. You know, you can have a 25mm and a 28mm and a 32mm versions of the same thing, and
you can milk it.
All colours of it, yeah, all colours of it. So
G.I. Joe license, Justin. Even Games Workshop can't afford a G.I. Joe license. Hasbro own G.I. Joe, and Hasbro just go, aha, well, think of a number and add 20 zeros to it.
HeroQuest news. Have you heard anything on the grapevine about HeroQuest? I know there's that little teaser advert with it ticking down. I don't know when that runs out.
The word on the dark web is, oh no, you mean HeroQuest, the board game. The general chit chat on the boards is that apparently the world can expect a new board game to be coming out, but there seems to be little more substance than that. I've floated around a few of those kind of sites and listened to the various, but most of it appears to be, here, do you want to hear what I heard from my mate whose sister works for the coffee shop that Jimmy, who works in the Titan Pool, gets his coffee in? It's all that kind of nonsense. But wouldn't that be nice, unless they break it?
Well, I mean, with Hasbro's weight behind it, you'd imagine it would be halfway decent, and it's I don't know. No?
Well, it'll certainly be designed to sell.
Yeah, exactly. So reasonably priced, one would imagine.
Yeah. There again, as we've just said, Hasbro also have the G.I. Joe license, and the number of 40-year-old men buying black market G.I. Joe figures, and yet do they bring out more? No, they've brought out like 4 special edition collector's ones that are out of scale.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I know lots of people on, what is it, Hero Forge, isn't it? The one where you build your own thing, are doing all manner of goblinry of that kind of stuff on there.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of our ones are quite popular for conversions.
You've seen the 80s dude that's doing like Action Force, like not quite. Well, it is sort of G.I. Joe-ish, but he's done like all the Shadow Warriors and Major Iron Blood and all that.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's just doing some beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Is that James or Kieran that's doing that? I can't remember. But one of them are doing
let's say yeah.
I've got the comic, but the rest of it. And I had some of the toys because they were the same size as Star Wars figures, weren't they?
Yes.
But never really got into it particularly.
No, I know, and it's getting one as well. And I think nowadays too, it's getting one that would gel with enough. Like, okay, with fantasy coming up, wouldn't it be lovely if you were allowed to do like Masters of the Universe?
They've got something coming out, haven't they?
There is. You see, this is the trouble. Everything you wait long enough, everything comes. Gun recitals should be banned under the Geneva Convention. Graham is so right. Heck, I've got visitors. Graham, I hope that there is not an excess of 6 people from 2 households in your household then.
What are your current rules? Is it you're not allowed to have bears in the house for more than 20 minutes? Is it? I'm not quite sure what it is. I've slightly lost track.
Nobody really knows anymore. Everyone's very, very tired and nobody trusts anybody.
People in the street just being shot on sight now. Has it got to that level?
That's a dangerous road to go down in Northern Ireland. But yes, that's kind of. I keep forgetting I'm talking Northern Ireland where they're all mad. It's kind of zany. Down the street, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Naked pizza orgies or whatever. And 2 streets up, you can't have your 2 grannies in the same house as you. Why you would want to, I don't know. But by the same token, 83 people can be in the supermarket or the gym or the pub, but 9 people can't sit in Joe's house and watch Star Trek.
Never enough room. Never get 9 people comfortable.
Oh, in Joe's house you would. Yeah, because since he kicked the wife out, there's plenty of space. and he knocked through the back room into the dining room because, like, what man living on his own uses a dining room?
No, that's a games room, isn't it? Is that not a games table? Is that what that table's for?
Or a place for all the unopened boxes that you buy to cope with your ongoing
Yeah,
depression.
our dining room is lots of terrain boxes that should actually be stored somewhere else at the moment.
Yeah, you can store them with me. Rent a Ghost. Simon Clark. Right. What part of a popular license? I mean, you know.
I mean, I'd go in for Nadia Popov, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I would go into one too. But by the same token, I don't think we're going to get, you know, we're not going to have queues of kids out down the street from the shop waiting to get in a Saturday morning to buy it.
The amount of phone calls I get every week and telegrams as well from people saying, "Can we have a McWitch?" I mean, I've lost count now. Bags of post. The young people.
Have you seen Jez's comment? You can have as many people in as you like if you're hunting them.
No.
Winner!
Yeah, the ghosts don't count, technically. Yeah. Nice.
Honestly, officer, they're not friends, they're victims.
The ones under the floorboards count?
Oh, isn't it sinful to make humour out of things that have actually happened? Now, there would be a terrible line of miniatures to go into. Serial killers the world has known.
Some of that, won't they? Did you see Mr. David Tennant this week as Dennis Nilsson?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of soul, so I mean, I even struggle with horror films, unless they're stupid. You know, the likes of Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason Voorhees and all that. Yeah, you can kind of laugh that off, but you see the real stuff. I just sort of think, you know what, the world's a dark enough place in reality. Why do we need to dramatize it as well?
I know, it's a bit of true crime, murders and such.
Yeah, but again, it's, you know, it's there and it happens and it's like, oh, I even struggle with like EastEnders.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's quite normal. That's depressing at the best of times. I don't think.
Why do you make a program where?
Sit up.
Why do you make a program where everything's bad all the time?
Why isn't it like the Banana Splits?
Well, here, have you seen that film yet?
No, I haven't actually. It was doing the rounds for a bit, but I've they're robots, aren't they?
That's
dark. Alien robots, but they don't, you know.
Dark.
Is it?
That's.
I saw something this week. What was that called? The Babysitter.
Oh yeah.
That was quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
And one of those things where you go, actually, that was quite fun. I quite enjoyed that.
It's
horribly grisly. It's really kind of.
Yeah. If you're sitting bored, check out the Korean film Alive.
Oh yes, I think I did. I started to watch about 10 minutes of that, and then we got distracted by something else.
Do watch it. It's like a Korean Romeo and Juliet with zombies.
Have you seen Train to Busan?
Yes.
Busan?
Oh yes. Have you seen the sequel yet?
No, is it out?
Well, you know, yes.
Jez wins, by the way, if you've just read Jez's comments.
I've read the last one. Can I attack your Josephines with my Fred West? Dark game right there. Yeah.
To answer that, Jez, only if there's line of sight.
There is probably a game to be had where the players represent like demons in hell, and you're competing to capture bad souls to put into your various rings of hell.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. What was it this week? Black Site Studios do some lovely MDF terrain. Started doing miniatures, and they've just gone in with that. Is it Don't Look Back?
Yeah.
Horror Survival game, something.
Yeah.
No. We have had that kind. There's a little bit of that in the 80s stuff because you've got some good slasher. That's what I meant to say. There's no flash stuff in it. That's completely different.
Hey, you want to be a flasher? You go ahead. You know, it's your life. Live it. Live the best life you can, Karl. With that haircut, you
The
possibly could
Wellington
get away with
police
it.
don't agree with you on that.
Justin said that we should have started the day off with the debate: Carl's hair or Andy's hair. Discuss.
I was running a little bit late this morning, so this is I don't know what's going on.
There's a lot less of it than there was last week.
I have a haircut in there, but me and the lady spend most of the time just kind of chatting, and I rarely look.
Yeah, did she not like you?
Yours is brilliant against the background today.
Yeah,
You've
mine's
got like a ready brick.
yeah.
going
It's kind of doing its thing. It's starting to reach the just too long point now, where you kind of get that whole
That's good.
yeah.
It looks like you're a 1980s Citadel kind of Judge Dredd Newty or something.
Well, yeah, with the whole backdrop and that, it's like, you know, the pictures of Andy Chambers in the old GW rulebooks. That
I really hope if I ever went into the main GW building, in the entrance hall, they've got massive portraits of all of those just up as you go in. That's what if they haven't, they should.
no, basically, whenever you leave, they burn every memory of you. Justin has actually come out with a good one there.
What's this? Adam's Family. Well, yeah, I think that's the best bit about the show, though.
But people would do it because for an evil faction, they'd be awesome. It's a full faction. It's your hero, your couple of co-stars, and your extras in one family.
Uncle Fester. Everyone wants an Uncle Fester. Yeah, he's got legs.
Get several of them, except for Thing. He's got no legs. He's just a hand.
I don't know how we count. Are they legs? Anyway,
he would count as a hand, so technically he can operate a gun and a weapon or anything like that. There.
Yeah.
And I would just do a slightly oversized hand on like standing on a skull or something as the base for it. That'd be nice.
One of my favorite classic miniatures was the giant hand. Remember that in the Night Horror set? Yeah, I've got that. Always liked that.
You see now you could do Addams Family and the Monsters, and you could do your own version of a Scooby-Doo kind of gang.
Yeah. So Kev's done that brilliantly already, though, hasn't he?
He has, but unfortunately, he didn't do anything more with it. He just walked away. He left it hanging. Yeah, it's like
the Scooby period. That's done. I'll move on to something else.
Yeah. Whereas you could bring the gang back together with a full mysterious incorporation. I mean, it's almost.
I've always quite fancied like the Monsters, just doing sets of those, like the Deep Diver guy and all that. I can't remember them.
Yeah, because
the Creep Club, wasn't there?
Yeah, because you could do all the classic ones as well.
Yeah. Well, there was a free download on our site if you would like to run that. Produced obviously not by us, but by our fan Robin Bland.
I could put a link up, but I'm really not arsed today.
I think that's best.
Yeah,
that's very much carries with the level of professionalism that we bring to this.
It's been a crap week. Okay, it's been a crap week. The back pain still hasn't completely gone. I'm living on copious amounts of caffeine and painkillers, and frankly, you're the highlight of my week.
That's how bad it is.
That is how bad it is. Think, what are you looking forward to this week? Seeing KARL.
Oh, God love you. Is your back still bad, is it?
It's not perfect yet. I look fine at the minute, but that's because on this hard seat I found a position. But if and when it's time for me to get up and move, it will not be a happy sight. It will be like the raising of the Titanic.
You'll be flapping about on the floor for a while.
No, oh God, no! Getting down that far, still not good. I'll be gripping onto the table like dear life, like somebody getting a backdoor inspection from their doctor.
Thanks for that. I didn't realise we were going to have that image with me.
You've had your coffee. Adams
We're taking
versus
a segue
Monster.
into what now sounds like a conversation with my mother. But actually,
How's your back? Are you going okay?
I've never had that. The best thing, I'm not going to add any more context to this, and there are very few people that know the rest of this story. But the best thing my mother has ever said is, "Oh, they're very swollen," and we would just leave.
But
Well, yeah, oh my god!
they weren't like that when you were born. What sound was that?
I had no idea. You made special noises.
And today Andy's accent is
Walrus.
the walrus. Oh, don't watch that, Cheekers. That's a bad film. No harm to Kevin Smith. Just don't.
There's a film called Walrus.
It's Walrus or something about the tooth. It just reminded me of it. I just had a mental image of it again.
Oh, is it? No, it's not called Tusk, is it?
Tusk. That's it. Yeah.
I've never seen that.
I don't. Just don't.
Really?
I love the guy to pieces and I love what he does, but just no, just no, just don't. Move on. Different subject. Don't bring that up ever again.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Don't watch it in bed.
Oh, no. Why not?
You'll regret it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm intrigued now. John Hart is interested in Tusk. He's put an exclamation.
John Hart probably. John Hart. You know, a name like that just strikes me as a guy that watches that with his kids. He's that kind of guy. He just sits there and goes, "No, watch it. It's good for you." No, it's just too wacky and weird. Only joking, John. I'm sure you're a lovely person.
I can only apologise, John.
Yeah, we just pick on people randomly. We often pick on Justin, and it's not fair. And Fish Boy's not here today.
No, or Acceptable Roger as well.
No, Acceptable Roger is by now working hard. His shop is back open. So Acceptable Roger, if he gets time, will possibly watch later on this evening. And Fishboy, I think, is running the gym on a Saturday, or he's hungover because he had a can of beer last night.
Damning, mate. I do apologise. We've said, we should get together and go out, and I suspect it. You'll see me for that first day when I come over, and then the rest of the time I shall be laid up.
Oh, we'll make sure of that, because one night out with us is usually enough for somebody for a month, you know, because then it's dialysis.
You never saw him again.
KARL, everybody remember KARL? Did we have a KARL? What's that lump on the ground? Oh, that's KARL. No, you'll be grand. We'll look after you. We know when somebody's had their limit. Usually about the time we think we've reached our limit, we realise that anyone that's with us has probably reached theirs an hour ago.
And is now hospitalised.
Or, well, they're lucky. Who's that? Sandra. Anyway. No, I was just picturing you being dragged off by some bent in Belfast called Sandra and us never seeing you again.
Sandra sounds lovely.
She's really not. Quite possibly a bloke too. Anyway, so this week, KARL, you've been stupidly busy. Yeah, look at me getting back on track.
You've done that. You've segued lovely, beautifully back in there.
Oh no, as segues go, I think this is one of our poorest, where it's literally we've gone, enough bloody madness. Crooked dice. Come on. Some people have actually tuned in to find out things about crooked dice. We're trying to build the brand, and what are we doing? We're sitting here talking about people dressed in walrus skins.
Oh, you've ruined it now. I've not seen it.
I did just throw that in there as an example.
Spoilers.
There's no spoilers. There's no spoilers. Not Itchy Sandra. Yes, Jez. Itchy Sandra. As in, hello, my name's Sandra. I'm replying to comments. You told me off before for not replying to comments. That was on point. KARL. What's Crooked Dice been doing this week? Come on.
Yeah, that thing I do. What's been going? It's been waves of mojo this week. I had no mojo, and then I found the mojo again. So Lurkers is finished. So the raid on Marshpool, our kind of at Innsmouth Cthulhu Investigators, war meets cosmic horror. That's what it is.
Mashed together.
So that has been finished off. I have started on a what's the other one? Oh yeah, I've started on Rick Rhodes and the Pirates of Lunar City. So I'm putting that into the same sort of format as well. I've started converting Vlad's Army into second edition as well. Might do something with that. What else? We've had lots of minis this week. Mark Evans is doing some lovely little fantasy townsfolk personalities. So he did the Town Guard.
Yes.
He's done me a merchant. He's done me a snooty noble. He's doing a fool at the moment as well. So he's doing some lovely stuff. What else do we have? Oh, we had the government agents for Lurkers as well that I put out.
Lovely.
Has done for me. So we've got some G-men going in there, and I've got some 30s coppers being made as well. What else? The Kickstarter's all been approved for the orcs and for bits and pieces. So just waiting on some pictures for that, and then that will get launched. Hopefully have Argonauts final miniatures delivered next week, I hope.
By your standards, that's taken a while. Because you're normally like, there you go, it's all out. Yes.
Yeah, Griffin got a bit of a delay, and it added a few weeks onto the end of it, which it's not great, but we're getting there. Everything's ready to go. We literally got all the labels printed, everything's ready. We just need it's about 4 miniatures as well, which is a bit frustrating. Everyone else has got their stuff, but there'll be a load to send out. I'm really hoping next week. I've been promised a delivery next week. Quite when it turns up, I don't know. So get that out of the way, and then we can start doing the Time of the Orcs one. So that's all ready to go.
It's just all go. You're like, our worldview of you is this relaxed guy sitting there with his coffee, his wife sellotaping parcels in front of him, and a spreadsheet behind him that never changes, a notice board that never gets updated except for the little weird drawing with arms on it, and yet there you go. You're crazy at it.
There's always stuff happening.
Yeah, I have to apologise to KARL this week, folks, because as you all know, any of our regular viewers will know that I often jibe him terribly for his inability to follow through. And by that I mean send the spreadsheet and stuff. And KARL did, in due goodness, send the spreadsheet. And I actually filled it in and sent to him, but I've sent it in a format that he can't actually read. And this morning I have discovered...
It's original format. Now you decided to turn it into something else, and so some magical device that you had.
Well, yeah, because my device opened it in that format. It went, you have a spreadsheet. This reads spreadsheets.
Unfortunately, with respect to the world, nobody uses numbers.
Well, I didn't know that. However, today I've discovered that I can open spreadsheets online for free.
Oh, the world's your oyster now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it online for free and figure out then how to save it and send it to you that way. Knowing my luck, when I save it, my computer go, "Oh, you're saving a spreadsheet. I'll change that to numbers because that's what you've got in your computer."
Or just send me a big list, whatever you like.
Now, you see, that's the kind of forward thinking that we like at We Gamers. That kind of, I've got a scrap of paper and I've got a big crayon.
Andy's list.
What are you doing? I'm doing our stock control for the year. You're supposed to do that.
Draw them all. Draw them all individually.
I could do that.
Yeah.
But then I would just make you jealous where you'd be sitting there thinking, God, why didn't I get Andy to do my concept sketches years ago? Why has he drawn all the members of the A-team and everyone from the Monsters?
So what I'm getting in the background... No, I'm not going to say that. No. Move on. Well, you need to watch the video back later on when you're doing your writing. Doesn't look good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Andy, my wee lad, says, hello, you're up on the big screen. Hello.
Has drugs are kicking in again, aren't they?
Yeah, I could do the moment. Well, since this wee lad's watching, go. Well, since I've now been elected as Prime Minister of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, and the Channel Islands, my first act is to do away with school. Schools are immediately and forever closed. All children will learn by running barefoot in the forests.
Foraging for berries. I think that's fine.
No foraging. Foraging's illegal.
Those berries will be mine.
That would be a fun thing to do sometime if you could line up somebody's wains to be watching and just yeah. Don't do that, Annie. That's cruel to do to people.
Your ears have disappeared as well in the background. It's very disturbing. Your ears have disappeared in the background. Get you at the right angle.
It's I can't tell where the virtual background starts and finishes. Like, I'm disappearing into forever.
I think we've covered all the bases.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Instruments, I think that's been pretty much covered.
I think we find the new way. This is something Carl and I have always struggled with: is where do we naturally sort of finish Saturday morning 7TV? We tried doing the whole thing where we're going to talk for half an hour, and the day we decided we would talk for half an hour, we talked for like an hour and 50 minutes or something stupid. And we went, well, okay, obviously we need an hour, and then we struggled to pad out the last 15 minutes. But I think we've discovered that it's when the coffee's done.
When the coffee's done, and you slightly begin to hallucinate. I think that's normally time to maybe wind things back.
You bring this out in me. It's the effect of you.
I have hallucinogenic properties.
Yeah, well, listen, desperately. I even tried this morning by putting up posts early. I've been desperate for people to ask you questions about 7TV because I know you struggle to answer even the simplest question to do with the rules.
Rude, man. Rude.
I think if you watch last week's video, you yourself, your very words are, I don't know about the rules.
I believe. I'm going to attribute this to one of the fat lardies, I think, in there, who said, I wrote it, I didn't memorise it.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that.
I have a rule book to hand. I can have a look up. I know where it all lives.
That's what I actually said to them. I said he can text a friend or he can look up the rule book. Yeah.
Awesome. Knows.
However, in gaming circles, Carl, everyone knows you've kind of lost the argument if you have to fall back on the fat lardy defense.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's like bringing Hitler into the
conversation. Right. Two fat lardies. Well, we can't argue with them, so obviously this conversation's over.
I wasn't aware of that. Terrible power again.
It's okay, I just made that up, but it sounded plausible. See? Sounded plausible.
Nice. You've done it.
Just like a Monsters faction for 7TV.
Versus Adam's Family. I'll get on that this week.
Everybody needs to do it. Right, folks, we're going to go. So since none of you have, other than Jess Hunt, you win today's comment of the week. The prize is, we didn't make fun of you.
John Hart's not coming back anymore after you.
John Hart will be back because John is a man of integrity and class, and he knows he can rise above buffoons like you and I.
We've always said that about John.
Yeah. Justin, as I say, is just lucky to know us. Right, is there anything else you'd like to say to the lovely people before they go? Because there's a fair few of them floating about there today, harking on your every word.
Just keep an eye out. I hope to get your Argonaut Kickstarters out to you as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. Apart from that, goodbye.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself. Tune in next week where we will drink coffee and randomly talk about Mad Dog stuff.
Yeah.
It's all unpromising.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah.
Mutant Dogs next week.
Mutant Dogs?
Musical dogs.
Oh, musical dog. Damn! I got excited for a minute.
That's what the Mutant Dogs. Mutant Dogs I'm talking about.
I was like, he didn't tell me about the mutant dogs. I love mutant dogs.
Even the giant poodle in the Hulk.
Yeah.
I'll do one of them.
Yeah, mutant dogs. Well, you've done the bear. I just thought dogs were a natural progression.
I've got some Mongols out there. We've segued again.
You see, you got my hopes up there. That's Carl. He dangles it in front of you and then just whips it away again. Goes, no.
And police told me to stop doing that, so I've not done that for a while.
They weren't really the police. That was just a birthdaygram girl that called at your house.
You still get birthday grams.
Oh,
Still
yes. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. It is funny though when the police actually come to your house and you open the door and go, oh my god, how did you guys got me a stripper for my birthday? They really get flustered when you do that.
Start playing, you can leave your hat on and then
Yeah.
just, no, we're here to arrest you. No,
come on in, but make sure you wipe your feet. Oh, I've got to say, the toy guns and that's going the whole distance.
He shot me 3 times. Who knew?
At least it was in the chest. Right, end credits. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
I feel like I should say something deep and profound to you before you all go.